Okay, what? Can you order 103 26 39 David today, and his name I want to know what you do. I don't see it.
Ladies and gentlemen, could I have your attention for a moment, please? At this time, I'm going to ask that everybody please take their seats as our service will begin shortly. Once again, I'd like to ask that everybody please take their seats as our service will begin shortly. If you have any cell phones or electronic devices, I'm going to ask that we please silence them so we don't disturb our time together. If you're facing the back of the chapel, please feel free to turn your chairs and face the front of the chapel as all announcements will be made at this podium. Thank you so much for being here today.
Good evening. My name is Ivy Bailey, and Juan was my friend and my sister in love. On behalf of John, Juan, and the entire Claiborne family, welcome. We are gathered here this evening to celebrate the I'm gonna do this, y'all. We are gathered here this evening to celebrate the well-lived life of Juan Rosa Claiborne. Juan was the biblical definition of a virtuous woman. She was a woman of unwavering faith who lived her life with dignity, patience, diligence, generosity, courage, wisdom, and devotion. If you're here tonight, you knew Juan, and you knew that she loved you, and she impacted your life in one way or another. Let's celebrate Juan tonight by sharing a memory or expressing your thoughts. Thank you again for being here. Now we'll have a prayer by Shirley Wade. Good evening. Can we please bow our heads for prayer? Father God in heaven, we come to you in the name of Jesus, thanking you first for allowing us to wake up this morning, be a part of another day, and especially for being here to memorialize the life of someone who epitomizes what love is all about, our dear sister Juan. Your word says that where two or three are gathered in your name, you're in the midst. Your word also says how wonderful and pleasant it is when brothers live together in harmony. So with that being said, Lord, we invite your presence here this evening. As we celebrate the memory of our dear sister, we ask that everything would be done decently and in order, and that you would be glorified and receive all the glory. Because, Lord, you are good and worthy to be praised. We also ask for your blessings over the food and the hands that prepared it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Hello, everybody. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to speak today, but I couldn't. So many wonderful people here that impacted our one life, and she impacted your life, that I would be remiss if I didn't have something to say. So I know everybody knows she's a wonderful person, but y'all don't know about me. I'm a wonderful man. And you're probably wondering how we met or how this beautiful soul and beautiful lady came to meet me or meet each other. I'm gonna tell you this. It started with a coincidence and a lie. The coincidence, let me paint a bigger picture for you. We come from a small town in Mississippi, population maybe about 2,000. That's the whole county. That's not just the town. And that one day, she was driving down the street. We was in front of the courthouse. I'll never forget it. And I saw her, and I said the next time I saw her, like weeks before, and I was kind of afraid to say something to her. And we were in front of the courthouse. We passed cars together, and I was like, hey, pull over. And I didn't think she was going to pull over so she did, and it shocked me. So I was like, what do I say? You know? So we started talking while we're still in the car. I said, well, can you go to the parking lot so I can get in the car and talk to you? And to my surprise, she did. And when I got in the car, I said, well, why don't you take my phone number? And she was like, I heard about you. It's like, what did you hear about you? About me. And y'all know that rap song about Rolanda, LaShonda, Denisha. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, you got a reputation. I said, I tell you what, all of those people you just named can kick rocks if you give me your number. She didn't give it to me anyway. So I ended up giving her my number, hoping that one day she'll get bored and give me a call. And maybe about 3 or 4 months later, she called. And I was shocked. I was like, hey, she's like, hello, how you doing? You told me if I ever get bored and need someone to talk to. I was like, yeah. So at that point, we developed a relationship, and that's where it started. And 38 years later, we're still together. And a lot of people in that little town didn't want her to be with me. They said that I wasn't the man for her. And here I am, still standing tall. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out, and I want to allow my son to say some words if you have anything to say. I know it's a difficult time, and I'm surprised I made it through this because I'm a little wimp. I cry. They know I cry in a minute. So I'm going to allow my son to come up and say a few words. Thank you.
Hello. I just want to thank everyone for coming out. A lot of the faces, it's been a long journey. There's been a lot of y'all that have stood alongside, but most importantly, my dad, he stood strong that whole time. And man, if someone showed me what love really is about, it's you. Like, man, every day I knew my dad was going through a lot, but it never mattered, Everybody talked about my mom, and she would even say too, she was like, your dad's the one. Like, my bad, y'all. Your dad the one, he the one that keeping us strong. He the one holding everything together. And I know sometimes it just will get tough, you see him in all these different ways, you start your relationship some type of way, and then you get to a certain stage, and it's just like, it's tough, and he ain't never wavered, never. Any appointments, anything, he was there, and he's done the same thing for me. She's always done the same thing for me, and just with all these beautiful faces in here, it just shows she touched a lot of other people too, and it's like, I gotta keep that going. So I know that's one thing she won't out of me, so I'm gonna always make that happen. And everybody that's in here, I'm here for y'all, like y'all been here for me, and y'all been here for us. So I really appreciate y'all.
Okay, so So the intention is that everybody that wants to say something, we will give you an opportunity. But what we want to do is everybody get your food first, so we won't have a lot of moving around because this is being filmed. So I'm trying to see if we're ready. Do y'all see food back there? It's out there, okay. So can you ask them if we can start, we can eat, and then what we'll do, we'll ask everybody to just be considerate, because I know there's a lot of people that may want to say something. And so as soon as we get back in here, that is what the rest of the time will be for, so that people can really express how they feel or just how you know Juan. And it'll be such a comfort for the family, because this is what Juan wanted. She wanted, we had to find a big place because, and when we go back home, it's gonna be a bigger place. So, because this room really can't hold all the people that really know and love her. Some people just couldn't be here, but they ready? Okay. Huh?
We can do the
Okay, well,
speaking and all
well,
that.
I'll talk then. I have the gift of gab, so I'll just tell my story first, because I think out of everybody in this room, I think I've known Juan the longest. Um, I was married to her brother, and that ended. I've been married now to my present husband 38 years. So, but you don't break up with, my family and her family is like the mafia. You know, once you get in, you never get out. But I'll just piggyback on what my dear brother said. Me and Juan been keeping secrets a long time. So I'm her sister Shirley, in case y'all didn't know, the cute one. But anyway, so I married her brother, and we got divorced, and Juan called me. She was like, girl, me and Shot getting married. I'm like, who is a Shot? I'm like, girl, I don't know this boy. Who are you talking to? She said, but don't tell nobody. I'm like, what? She said, yeah, because he in the military and we getting ready to go to Germany. And her mama was a hot mess because, you know, you can't tell her nothing. So I was like, I had to keep that a secret. And they retarded selves was going to eat to their own house every night. Like they wasn't even married. She go to her house and he go to her. I'm like, who does this? And I was like, I gotta keep this a secret. So I am a very trustworthy person, in case y'all didn't know that. So anyway, so Juan went with Shot to Germany, and the blessing is her brother and I did not have a very good divorce. So he pretty much, if I can't have you, I don't have anything to do with any of our children. And Juan was the connection to my kids. We would get boxes, and I married a man that had 5 girls, and I have 3 sons. So we had 8 children between the ages of 2 and 8. And Juan would send boxes of clothes from Germany. She just kept, she wouldn't get them for just my kids. She got them for all 5 of the girls. And so we became very close. So while over there, she moved in with me and my husband, because I have a wonderful husband who accepted her just like she was my sister. She came and stayed with us and went to nursing school. I'm a nurse practitioner, so I was really, gung-ho about her. She wanted to finish school and she wanted to be a nurse. So she came and lived with us for a couple of years. And then she was my baby son's roommate, so that's her darling. And Kelsey, all of them, they shot them practice on my children. Juan is not their only child. They have 3 other sons, so Juan is, he is not the only child. So, so she went away, came to Las Vegas, and over the years, I would come here and travel and so forth, and her mom would come and stay at my house, her dad, all of us, we just got along just like family's supposed to. And so in 2019, 2020, when she got sick, she would call me. She's like, girl, this is what's going on with me. And I'm like, well, send me a picture. And I'm like, oh, something ain't right there. And after, we found out about her cancer, I made it my business every 3 months. I'm coming down, or sooner. If I need to come, I'm coming, because that's what sisters do. And at the end, like when Shot called me, and he said, I'm taking Juan to the hospital to, with the ambulance. And I was like, let me call her. And so I finally, got in touch with her, and I think she had made up her mind about some things. And then she kind of changed her mind, and I was really conflicted. And I told her, I'm really conflicted because I know what she wants, but I know she's trying to do everything she can to be here for Shot and Juan. And so I was like, what do you need? She's like, well, I wanted to do hospice, but they said I can get this done. She said, but I don't want to do this because I want to do home health, but I'm gonna need a nurse to do pushes and piggybacks and all this kind of stuff. And I said, well, what you want me to do? I said, I can come. And she said, well, you and Dave was coming for a week, but I said, do you want me to come to stay? I said, I just need to, you just started your job. I'm like, girl, I can get another job, and I can. But my job was very gracious, and I said, I'll be here for a month. And she was playing it in her mind, like, okay, I got 4 weeks for Shirley to be here, so I'm gonna do this. And we did the piggybacks and the TPN and the pushes, and she had top line care. I mean, she was taking care of. Shai was my little assistant. He helped me out. He helped me out. But she really was trying to do everything that she could. And thank God for Bev and Miss Grace and all of y'all who at the hospital that supported her. But she was just, she was ready, but she really wanted to just make sure that she had everything in place. And she did. So I told Shot, I said, well, Shot, now we got to call all the Amazon, the Temu people. We got to call I said, we got to call the telemarketers, because, the telemarketers would call Juan on the phone, and she talked to him. I'm like, girl, who you talking to? And she's like, oh, that's a telemarketer. The people got the wrong number. I said, did you tell me the people had the wrong number? And you still on the phone talking to them? And she was like, yeah, we was just talking about our story. So I just want to say, it was truly an honor to be there with her at the end. And I'm so grateful that she trusts us, all of us, enough to do what she would want us to do. And that's not come here. I know some people are going to be crying, but it's just tears of joy, because you're going to miss her. And a piece of my heart is gone. I'm telling you. And but I think that it would have been worse for me if I had to come here from Louisiana with the news that she had passed. So I'm just thankful that God does all things well, and that he causes all things to work together for the good of them that love him. And so he does not make any mistakes. It's not a coincidence that she was in your life. She was in there for a reason. And so all I would say is honor her by being nice and kind, because that's what she was. I told her, I said, can't nobody say nothing bad about you. Now me, I'm a B. Now, yes, I am. I already know. My funeral probably gonna have people like, ding dong, the witch is gone. but you can't say that about her. She's just a blessing. So I just want to say thank y'all for coming out in huge numbers, and we'll see if the food is ready. If not, we can start whoever want to come up, because we don't want to, just have space, and I could talk forever, but I won't. So whoever else want to come up while we wait, it's ready. 5 minutes. I can do it, but no, I'm not gonna do it. You want to come up and first, so anybody want to start at this table? 3 more minutes.
This is such a joy to see. This is so deserving of Juan, because there's so many of us who love Juan. Juan and I first were co-workers at UMC, and then from being co-workers, she was my unspoken daughter, because my son is also here, who's exactly Juan's age. And then we went from being coworkers to I became Juan's mentor. Well, to a point. Everybody would start out with, I just want to tell you right now that Juan, I know it's not getting ready to matter, but okay, say whatever you want to say. Because we know how it's going to come out. I mean, because you wouldn't begin to find a more gracious, smart, humble person than Juan. I could just go on and on with she and I know came together at a time when we needed each other. I needed Juan in my life. My son was in Michigan. I did 23 years at UMC, 5 years at Valley, and 25 years as a nurse in Michigan. So when I came out in 23, by that time, we had an understanding. Juan went out to fight this monster, but she'd be back. She knew and I knew that no matter what, she was coming back. And I told her, no matter what, you're gonna have some place to come back to whenever you are physically able. Because we never did fill that spot. I was asked multiple times by administration, do you need help? Not to the point where I will let that position go, I don't. So we're fine. And we were fine because I knew Juan would be back. And Juan did come back. She fought that monster and she did come back. I know the happiest day that I can remember. Juan walked in. She says, everybody, bagels. This is my 1 year anniversary of being back. 1 year today. And it's like, wow. She said she was going to do it, and you could put money on it. Okay, we might live in Vegas, but you could put money on Juan because she said she was going to do it, and she was going to do it. And we were here waiting for her to come back. She did come back, and she's here today saying, I love all of you. I love every single one of you. You're going to always be in her heart, our heart. And John and Juan, there is no greater love than the love Juan had for both of you. And John, you want to talk about, I know it was, quote, all about Juan, but it was all about John too. You won't find a better man. There is no better man. You want a man that gave his all and then more if he had it. That's John and his son, Juan. They knew that it was going to be okay, Mom. And they let her know that it's going to be okay. We're going to be okay because you're going to hang just as strong as you always hung, and that's together. There is no cracks in this. And when Juan and I had our talk, when she had to explain to me she's ready, told her it's okay, Juan. Your job is done. Your man stood strong and will stand strong. Your son, you couldn't have raised a better man. You showed him the way, you taught him, you educated him, and he's been blessed now with a fine young lady. So look at it like it is. It's okay that your job is done. It's done well. Nobody could have done a better job. And don't feel like you're letting anybody down because you just beat us to the past, that's all. We're going to see you again. We are going to see you again. I love you, love all of you for coming. She's the daughter that I never had, and this is my son, AJ. And I want to thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Marilyn Weathers Hawkins. I've known Juan over 40 years. We've been friends for a long time. Not just my friend, but another sister to me. Juan was truly an amazing person. Her love, her kindness just was unconditional. And I know we all have examples or stories that we could share of that, but I'm just gonna talk about one that wasn't too long ago, where I planned a party for my daughter. It was a major milestone for her. We were expecting a lot of people. My sister was supposed to fly out the day before to help me and my brother prepare for the party, but unfortunately, her husband was involved in an accident, broke a couple of bones, but okay. And as I usually do, had a conversation with Juan, talking to her, letting her know what happened, everything that was going on. And she said, I'm coming to help you. And I said, no, you don't have to. Without hesitation, she got in her car with Shot's approval, of course, and drove to Ontario, California to help me and my brother for this party for my daughter. And that's just the type of person she was. You didn't have to ask, just not selfish at all. And we cooked all night, talked all night, and just had a good time, even though it was somewhat of a sad time for my brother-in-law, but still at the same time, my sister came to help save the day. And it's hard talking about her in the past tense, and she's gonna be missed beyond measures, but I'm gonna say this farewell to my friend and for Juan and Shot. I love you guys. And I say, may God bless us all. Great. Well, Juan and I met years ago. I'm a nurse too. I work at UMC now, but we met whenever she was working at Spring Valley. And I would go see her, and she always had a big smile, as always. And throughout the years, we just seemed to tag, and wherever she goes, I'm there. And so we ended up working together. She would always send me, because I'm from a small town in Alabama, so we were alike in a lot of ways. So we always talked about church and songs and stuff. So she would always send me little clips, YouTube videos and stuff of the old school gospels. So I'm gonna really miss that part. We always kept in connection with our church and going, and I just will miss her. I love you guys.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dominic Bailey, my wife Ivy, and I think Miss Grace, she did mention a little bit about John, and we're going to hear, I know a lot about Juan this evening, but I'm going to talk about my friend John. This is probably what was it, 5, 6 years, huh? We relocated to Las Vegas ourselves about April 2019. And I think October of 2019, Juan had a diagnosis for the cancer. And John was on it from day one. I mean, you're talking about a guy, he was there. He was there every day, appointments. I don't live far from him. I would go out sometime and, early in the morning, I go do my little walk, and I just hear a horn blow sometime, and it would be John and Juan to an appointment. Sometimes I call and say, hey, where y'all off to? You say, well, we got to do this today, or we're going to take this. But John never missed a beat. He spent more nights probably in the hospital than he did at his own home. If Juan was in the hospital, John was not going home. He slept right there in that room every night. And when we come to visit, the next morning you could tell he had his food, he had his snacks. He knew how to chair laid out to make a bed. Sometimes, I sit down and I would say, you sitting on this bed. But for the entire time he was there, he did not miss a beat. And, I'd call, not to just sometimes, just call and say, hey, how y'all doing today? How's it going today? Oh, we're doing pretty good. He never complained. He just did what he was supposed to do. And Juan had him going. Then John would just smile, but Juan took, she put a number on him. She told him, okay, you love me, show me. John, he would leave and say, well, Juan want this, she want that. He didn't miss a beat, he didn't stop, he didn't question. He just did, just like he smiled and laughed now. If he was in trouble, he just smiled and laughed. That's what he did, and did what he was supposed to do. So he really is the epitome of a man and what you do when those troubled times come. And Juan, he was right there, brother. And you and your dad, both of y'all. Man, I love y'all. Thank you.
I'd love to see y'all get the sandwich order.
Family and friends, thank you for sharing those beautiful memories. At this time, our caterers are ready to begin serving you in the lobby. And once you've had your food, please come back in here and please continue to share those beautiful memories and stories. I know our family would love to hear them. Thank you so much.
So while everybody's like gathering, eating and different things, one of my dad's friends got together and they're be walking around just asking different questions, how y'all met, and just record it. Y'all can say your little 2 cents and go on about your day, finish eating. But yeah, thank you.
Mr. Claiborne started working in Germany. And he doesn't know. When he first came to the Air Force Base.
All right.
Can I get everybody's attention, please? Go ahead, y'all keep going. Hello, ring the bell. I can't whistle. Can I get everybody's attention, please, so we can continue on? We have to leave at 8, so see if it, cut the volume down on that one. Yeah. So, thank you. So a couple of things I would like to announce. We did have some memento cards for everybody, but something happened where they didn't get here in time. So we do ask that when you sign the guest book, that you put your address. And we're gonna mail, it's a card with Juan's picture and her favorite scripture, Hebrew 11. So if you can be so kind as to sign the guest book with your address, we will mail it to you. And they are gonna pick up the charges for their mistake. So it's not costing me a shot, nothing. They don't pay for it. So just want y'all to understand that. So we're gonna continue with the people that wanna come up. You know, you can come up and say what you want, talk, and then we're just gonna continue eating and eat as much as you want. But whoever else wanna, somebody will say something? Anybody else wanna come up and say something? And please don't leave until the end, because we have a special treat for you at the end. Just want you to understand. So who else want to come up now? Okay, come on, girl. It's very informal because I'm trying to eat. I'm not going to keep asking y'all.
You might have to stay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marie, and this is Holly, and we are the OG neighbors of Shot and Juan and our beloved Juan. We've been living on Rocky Ravine for the last 21 years, and I believe that, who moved there first? Was it Tyra, or was it John that moved there first? Okay. Okay, and then you, Tyra, right? Yes, and then you guys, right? And then us. We all moved around. We moved into the neighborhood around Christmas time and New Year's Eve. It was 2004, right? Christmas, and I believe Juan was 2 years old at the time, correct? Right? Around that, yeah. So I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you to the Lord for blessing us with wonderful neighbors. My husband and I, we actually moved from San Diego. And when we moved to Vegas, it was a big deal for us. And we were really nervous about moving to a new town where we didn't know anybody except for my family. My parents had retired here. My brothers were stationed here at Nellis. But when we found our place on Rocky Ravine, we knew we found a home. And when we met our neighbors, everybody, Holly and Tyra and the kids, and Mr. and Mrs. Ortiz, who aren't here today, but their daughter-in-law, Claudia, and their granddaughter is here. They're in the back as well. Thank you.
You were supposed to be.
I know, I'm sorry. You become family at that point, you know, and my husband and I, out of that original group, we were the last one to have kids. We had our twins, so we're the neighbors with the twins that Juan told everybody and anybody about that wanted to listen. And just watching Juan grow up and Holly's kids and Tyra's kids,
you can't put a price on that. And again, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for loving, my kids and for being a part of our lives. And thank you for sharing Juan with us.
And to piggyback on that, I think it comes full circle to say the sharing, right? Because Juan was so open. Sorry. My daughter said I wouldn't get through this.
Yes, you will.
So loving. And I remember when we met, because we were both so OCD, we would go out to see the lot. We had to see the lot, and then we had to see the 2x4s, and then we had to see the drywall, and then we had to look at the outlets. And we would see each other on Sundays. And then we had Juwan's 4th birthday at the car place. And Juan and I shared a birthday month. And I think what I loved most about Juan is my husband worked a lot. And she'd be like, "Are you hungry, girl? Come over for breakfast." And what I loved about Juan is I could just be me. And she'd be like, "Girl, you're so crazy." But she let me be me, and she let me show up with my family, and she took us in. If I was sad, she was the first one I'd want to talk to. If I got good news, she was the first one I'd want to tell. She was my biggest cheerleader. And, as kids grow, and sadly our kids didn't go to the same high school and stuff, I cried about that too. And then I cried when Juwan didn't want to play lacrosse and he wanted to play football. I cried about that too. I'm a crier. And so we lost touch for a little bit. And I think the most beautiful thing is when we came back together, it was like a day hadn't passed. And instead of sitting in where she was and what she was fighting, she asked about mine. How are my babies? How was my husband? It wasn't about her. And I kept saying, well, let me know when you want to go to the movies, and let me know when you want to go eat, and la, la, la. And I just I don't think she wanted to tell me that she wasn't up for it, But I was so grateful for those conversations. I'm so grateful for every karaoke moment in my living room. I'm super grateful for every car ride and beautiful sing-along. And I'm super grateful for every Sunday that she spontaneously would have time after her hair appointment for a movie run. And I'm just grateful for all the moments. And there is no other Juan. Just one.
Thank you. We love you guys. We love you.
Just speaking again, just once again, just on touching people and all of that. I know that's something my mom was just so big on is, I think pretty much one thing I think that she would want everyone to take from this is just have an understanding and like a care for other people and what they got going on in their life. Like, yeah, you wake up one day and it may feel like the hardest day ever, but your hardest day is somebody's easiest day and vice versa. Like everybody is going through something that you don't know about. So take the time to love each other, care each other, have somebody's back, because you just don't know. You never know when that last day could be. And I just think that she would want everybody to just have some care. You know, we need it in times like right now. Like, we need more people that care. So thanks again for everything.
I'm Broad Wolf. Been friends with John, for seemed ever. And Juan and JoJo. It's just, for one thing, before I get started, it's just crazy seeing you grown up. To be honest, man, it's wild. But one thing I wanted to say was, Juan was always looking out for other people. She would text me and say, "Hey, get John out the house. He needs to leave the house." And Nick will holler at me, and we'll be like, "Hey, we're gonna go up to Buffalo Wild Wings or something, and get you out the house, man." And John didn't want to leave. He didn't want to get out the house, but we would drag him out there anyway for a few minutes just to get him out. And Juan was like, he needs to get out of here and have a moment for himself because he's getting on my nerves. And so get him out the house, Wolf. Get him out the house. So she even during that time, she was looking out for him. And on a personal note, unfortunately, I had a tragic event a few weeks ago, and she was one of the first people, even though she was going through everything, she was one of the first people to reach out to me and to comfort me. Even though she had so much going on, she was still thinking about me and other people at that time. And I will always remember her for that, and just always smiling and upbeat all the time, no matter what. So, and I appreciate her for being that person. And John, you did a great job, brother. And she loves you, and I know you loved her, and couldn't ask for anything more. And I appreciate y'all, definitely.
No, I'm not gonna, I could. But what we're gonna do, since nobody else wants to really say anything, we will give you all time to mingle after this last video we wanna show. I don't know if y'all seen all the birthday pictures that she's been having, but I made a promise to her after she was diagnosed with cancer that I would come down every year. And we're gonna have a big old party, Louisiana style. We're gonna cook gumbo, we're gonna have jambalaya, we're gonna have etouffee. And so those pictures are just the cake. It's not showing all the food that we used to have. But her last birthday party, everybody know Juan loved purses, right? So Shot went and, I was gonna say sold his body, but nobody would buy it. But he did that. I mean, he bought her a very nice Louis Vuitton purse, and y'all should have seen her modeling it. It was something to see, and I was messing with him because had decorated the house and everything, and I was like, "Where you gift at?" I'm like, "That boy didn't even get that girl nothing for her birthday," and so he sure how you was strutting. You're not gonna. He came in the house and just strutted and dropped the bag in front of me, like, and she got the purse, and you should have seen it. She was modeling, and I mean, it was beautiful. But Juan graduated from LPN school when she was in Baton Rouge with me, and she sang this song. This was one of her. This is a song that transcends time, and it's called "I'm Still Holding On." And she sang it at her LPN graduation, and I begged her. Well, whenever I would come down, I would stay like a week or two, and I would hear her in the kitchen singing, and I would always video her. I would, put my recording on. So my phone is full of concerts for one. As a matter of fact, one day I asked her to do karaoke for me, and she did like 10 songs, and I got all those videos, and we had to kind of like stop the video because somebody was on the couch snoring. So we're like, "Boy, you messing up our recording session here." But anyway, but I begged her at this. Now her voice is maybe a little off, but she sang at my other son's wedding. She has a beautiful voice if you've ever heard her sing. And this what you're gonna hear her singing is how many chemos she had? 32 treatments. How many? However many. This is post chemo. Warren singing at her last birthday party. So get your tissue, because it's not going to be a dry eye in the building. I'm just letting you know. But she did this for me because I asked her to. I said, "Can you please sing this song for me?" And she's like, "Girl, I don't want to sing this." I said, "Juan, please sing it for me." So this is her singing her anthem. This is her life, this song here. So they're going to push the button. Cut it up. Can you? They said I would be here today. They said I'm moving around to anything. But I'm glad to say that I'm on my way. And I'm going each day. There were many that started out with me, but now they've gone astray. But I'm still holding on. I'm still holding on. I still hold on to it. You see, when I was young, I gave God my name. And I told him to lead the way. The road's been tough, and the boys been mighty rough. Still, I ain't going away. I'm right to stay. Though I've been talked about, and I've been criticized. I've had to wipe any tears from my eyes, but I'm still holding So I will just say, I mean, I know it's a lot of crying. That was me in the picture crying, wiping my eyes. But I just want to say this. You know, if you, one of ones, her favorite scripture was Hebrews 1 about faith. Now faith is. And I will share this. One day we was on the phone talking, and she was saying, Shirley, you know, I have faith, and and so many people that's Christians, are making me feel kind of guilty because I'm ready to. She's ready. She was ready, and she said, and I said, she said they was, keep quoting these scriptures to me about, faith and this and so forth. And I said, well, I'm a Christian too. And I've read Psalms 116 in verse 15. And it says, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of one of his saints. And I said, so you remember that. I said, God's going to call you, and it's going to be a precious time, and you have done everything you could do, Juan. I said, you don't owe anybody any explanation about you ready to go, because you've done everything that you can do. And I'm very sad. I mean, I think, but what has encouraged me is I've seen her be strong. I've seen her have the faith of a mustard seed and continue to be the sweet and kind person. I know I would have been mad as hell, because I'm having to leave here, but she took it and she did very well all the way to the end. She was caring about, everybody else, trying to make sure that everything that's here that you all see that's done here was her wishes. We did what she asked us to do, and she was very smart. She knew her time was coming, and she planned it all down to the T. Don't think that none of this is haphazard, because that's not the kind of way she does things. She does everything well. And so we all are going to be missing her. I know I am. It's a piece of my heart, but I have very good memories. She was a wonderful person, and like, with Shad, I play with him all the time, but, that's my boy. Shad was a polygamist, whether y'all know it or not. He was, he had two wives. He had two wives, and one of them was me. He would tell me, Juan, I'm like, Juan, that's our husband, and, and I promised her that, that I was gonna be here to make sure. And so, I've been here since March the 26th. I haven't been home since then, and was gonna be here till I needed to be here, because it was important, not only for me to be there to see her transition, but to make sure that Shot and Juan was okay, because that's what big sisters do. But I just wanna, like Dominique said, Shot all the way to the end, he was getting on our nerves. I'm like, boy, if you give this girl one more sip of water and she has lost her gag reflex, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, do not, but she wanted, Shirley. She wanted, I said, I know she asking you for it, but he's like, she gonna get it, whatever she wants. I mean, and that was just the way he was. And he, he loved his wife. I mean, those vows meant a lot to him. And so I just asked, I'm going back home Friday. And I'm just asking y'all to just surround him by your love. Don't stop calling. Well, don't call right now, because he, he put on Facebook, don't call, but just prayer. Pray for him, and pray for, we have a big service at home that we're gonna be going to next Saturday. And that's gonna be that's gonna be the one that's gonna be a little hard for everybody, because all the family would be there, and we ain't having no memorial. Like I told Riley, we gonna have church. Yes, and her daddy is he's a deacon, and the whole church is their own family church, and So she's gonna go home in style. And so I just want y'all to keep praying and keep lifting us up in prayer because we need it, because it is gonna be a big adjustment. So thank y'all. If anybody else want to say anything, if not, the guys are going around talking and we'll be here for another, probably another 30, 45 minutes. So y'all can hang out, talk, get some more food or whatever. But thank y'all for showing up in great numbers. I knew it would be a lot of people because it's a lot of people that just love her. So thank y'all for coming. Shot, you want a shot? You shot. And it's open for anybody else want to say anything, but,
Can I speak? I'm gonna get her permission. I know that she's in charge. My name is Marshall Jones. Me and John been knowing each other close to 30 years. We served in the military. And when she was diagnosed sick, I met John was out at the pharmacy, and he says, "My baby's sick." I said, "What's up?" She says that she's got a form of cancer. And I told John, I said, John, I've been through this. My father passed away with cancer. I said, I want you to know you got to fight for her life. So these 4 or 5 years, he's been fighting for her life. Me and him talk, we go out, and I tell him, I said, you're going to have good days, bad days, but as long as she's on this earth, you fight. You fight. And the last thing I'm going to say is that she was a true warrior, and she was just a wonderful, wonderful person. And everybody that she touched, you can tell, because look who's all here. So it's just, you can't say anything else. I just want you to leave with this thought. Remember about sorrow and sadness, you can visit, but you can never stay. So we got to honor her and celebrate her life. These tears that we share are tears of joy and the happiness that we have known by knowing her. And just always remember that she's going to always, I told John, 3 days, 4 days, we talked, he came over. I say it's not over until it's over. So you fight. And she fought a good fight. And that's the only thing you can say when you think about her. She was just a wonderful, wonderful person. And I told him, she will always be in your heart. So she's always with you. She's always with you. And that's just something to remember. Thank you.
Just want to say thank you again and kind of give one of my stories with my mom. I've been talking on how she do things with y'all, but let's talk about how she did things with me. So my mom, that was really my dog. And it's funny too to hear her, to hear you say that. She's one of the moms where it's like, I ain't one of your friends. You ain't finna just be coming in here talking to me like I'm one of your little friends. Give her a call. We be on the phone for 3-4 hours straight, talking just like she one of my friends. But one thing about her though is she was always gonna say the hard thing, and she really did teach me that the hard thing is love. When somebody is able to tell you that hard, that thing you don't really want to hear. Even though you only going to that person because you swear they're gonna say what you you want them to say. And my mama, that's one thing, she ain't gonna tell you something that's gonna lead you astray. She ain't. That's not how she works. So I just that's something I'm gonna always miss, because that's one person I can talk to her, and I always knew it was gonna be genuine no matter what it is, even if it was going to, hurt my feelings or whatever. She knew 2, 3, 4 weeks down the road, it was like, you're gonna be straight, you know, you got God on your side, and you good, don't nothing else matter. So that's one thing I'm gonna always miss, but I'm gonna hold it with me because I've seen it work miracles in my life. I was never chose first in nothing. Everybody see the things that, you know, I've done and all that, but I was never chose first, and she was the reason I kept going in everything. I mean, she taught me you decide your destiny. Like, it don't matter what nobody thinks. She was the only Black woman in her entire nursing program out of Port Gibson, Mississippi. And half y'all don't even know what Port Gibson, Mississippi is. So that tell you everything you need to know right there. So I would just say that I'm letting her know, and I'm also letting y'all know that ain't nothing gonna stop me from keep going, and I hope y'all keep going as well, because that's what she would tell y'all to do. It's hard, and you know, it's not what we all want to hear, but that's what we gonna do.
We feeling pretty good, I think. But I had to come up behind Juan because Juan allowed me to live with them in 2005. I came to Las Vegas. I thought I was going to move to Las Vegas in 2005, and I did. I taught school. I was a fifth grade teacher at Hickey Elementary, and Juan opened a home to me. I had a room in the house right there on Rocky Ravine. I think the room is still called, go upstairs to Mr. Bailey's room and look in the drawer and get my such and such. It's still Mr. Bailey's room. But when I came that year, 2005, Juan was, I think he was still in elementary school. And Juan did not send Juan to school. Juan went to school with Juan. She actually went, Juan would work, and Juan would come home tired. But she would be downstairs on Juan's, with his homework, doing that homework with him. And she would still have on her, whatever she wore that day for work, scrubs or whatever it was, her clothes, stockings on still and everything. And she'd be at that living room table. And she was, whoo, boy, what did it say right there? Put it down. Oh man, and it would be dark. And she was, put it down. And Juan would go away and do the work and bring it back to the kitchen. And she said, let me see, why is this all like this? He couldn't do that homework any kind of way. He could not. And if Juan had any problems at school, teachers or whatever, Juan was up there. She was up there all the time, making sure he was getting what he was supposed to get. But yes, elementary, middle, high school, probably college too. She was brilliant. So nothing he could bring home that he said, if he didn't understand it, Juan would explain it to him, but she would make him do it. She showed you. So, hey, there's no reason. Boy, you're going to be a success because you got Juan all over you. I just have to share that memory. Thank y'all.
My name is Riley. For those who don't know me, put the phone down. I am Juan's girlfriend. I just wanted to share a quick story about the type of potential mother-in-law Juan was. I remember we had the Wolfies for college. I played softball at UNR. That's how me and Juan met. We had the Wolfies, which was an award show that went on. Oh wait, was it the Wolfies or was it? It was something. I had to be in a formal dress. And I remember we were trying to iron it out, me and John at home, and John and Juan were in town too, and he had a game the night before, and I came over to help get ready because I'm from California, and I remember I like walk out first after thinking I ironed that dress, and she's like, mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. She's like, now girl, do you think that's ironing? Yeah, and you know, I went right back in the room, took the dress off, and we went back out and put it on a hanger and stuck it up there. And now this is how you do it. You see this? This is how you do it. And she's like, you got to remember that and she's asking Juan, now you don't know how to do this, so. She was always, and that was my first time, I think, even meeting her too. So just someone that always is looking to help one another. And, you know, I just feel grateful that I was here with you guys the past 2 weeks. I graduated nursing school 3 weeks ago. So it's just cool to, you know, follow in her footsteps. And, you know, I just pray that I continue to, you know, make her proud and just take care of her baby. So, thank you guys.
Hello, everybody. My name is Beverly. When Juan was first diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, it was right after her birthday. So we worked right next to each other, and she was just complaining that her stomach was hurting. Well, what's wrong with you? And so she said, I just ate everything that wasn't nailed down on his birthday. And she had went to her favorite steak place. Shad had taken her to her favorite steak place, and she ate, and she just had a really good time. But she just said she didn't know what was wrong with her stomach. Her stomach was hurting. So I said, do you want me to call Shad? You should go home. I'll take your assignment. I'll finish your work for you. No, I'm gonna finish it. But she just kept complaining about her stomach. And so I said, do you want me to call Shad? No, he crazy, don't call him. Don't call him. I said, but he needs to properly come and get you or I'll take you home. No, I'm just gonna finish. So I don't know if she called Shad or not, but she ended up on base. And she told me she was on base. She told me where the base was. I've never been there. And she said, well, you probably won't be able to get in because of, you know, the rigmarole you have to go through. So I just walked into her room. And she said, how did you get in here? I said, I drove here and I parked and I showed them my driver's license. They told me where to park. I gave them your name. They showed me where your room was. So here I am. And so Shad said, nobody called me. I said, I guess I'm supposed to be here. So I stayed there with her, and then she called me and said she was transferred to UMC, and I met her at UMC, and that's when she told me her diagnosis, and they were gonna put in the port and start chemo and, you know, the whole 9 yards. And so this last week was a rough week. But I'm glad I was there. And She's no longer in pain. She's no longer in any kind of agony, no more blood draws, no more diarrhea, no more nothing. She's in peace. And for that, I'm grateful. But I, like the rest of you, just miss it terribly. But I did get to see her one last time, and I thank Shirley for that, because I usually came to see her every Friday. But this time I came on Thursday. And I'm very glad I did, because I guess she was asking for me. So when I got there, she reached up her hand and I held her hand. And I stayed until about 7 o'clock or so. And then Shot called me that morning and told me she had passed. So I'm so glad I went on Thursday and not Friday, because I would have missed her. But I'm so grateful that I did get the chance to see her. She was just such a wonderful person. And I love and miss her. And I will always have her in my heart, just like everyone else will. Thank you.
All right. Just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. To Bev, Miss Grace, Carol, Marilyn, Dominic, Ivy, all the time y'all put in, it didn't go unnoticed, 100%. All them hospital visits, driving around, we wasn't able to do it, or I was away in college, that I'm in the world, and to all the friends and family that have had her back along the way, that means the world. All my boys in the back from football, hey, we on. But I just really appreciate y'all. And like I said, friends and family, that's huge. That's huge. And I hope you guys bring into all of your relationships that same energy, that same love, that same passion to all your friendships, to all your family that my mom would bring to all of theirs. So thanks for coming.
She's getting a pen so she can write. There's one that didn't have a card. Which one? Okay, perfect. But thank you. Call Juan, I'm gonna have to pick up the phone and call you. Right.
No, I'm old and half the time don't know how to find stuff. I would get one on the phone, everything on the phone. Oh my God, is that beautiful? Yes, oh, it's where you at?
Jojo, you want to say anything? Yeah, no, you good. Do you want to say anything? No, I saw you.